We've even found as legislators, when we go into these courts, the term violent crime is even used when people are stealing packages. Violent crime is even used when people are accused of burglary and there happens to be a housing unit in that same dwelling. So violence is an artificial construction. And we have to be very clear that what is happening here with these district attorneys, that is violence. That is violence of the highest degree.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start off this video with the tremendous load of BS that's going on that you're being subjected to on the roads. Oklahoma governor announces 130 illegal alien truck drivers arrested in his sting on one CDL read no name given. How the hell can you get a commercial driver's license to drive a truck and it says no name given? Could you imagine? The only thing worse is could have been no F's given. To me, that's what dawns on. That's what comes to mind. I got a license and no F's given. Yeah, I give 0 F's about if I hit your family. I give 0 F's if I roll over your child. I give 0 F's if I destroy your property. I give 0 F's because I'm entitled to be here. I was sent here by Joe Biden himself. The roads just got safer in Oklahoma. On Monday, Republican Governor of Oklahoma, Kevin Stitt, announced 130 illegal immigrant truck drivers were arrested in a statewide sting. Stitt announced that Oklahoma Highway Patrol alongside ICE arrested the illegal commercial truck drivers on I-40 western Oklahoma. The majority of the drivers were issued licenses issued from Democrat states and stem from multiple counties such as Indiana, China, countries. Stemmed from multiple countries: India, China, Russia, Turkey, and Ukraine. Many of the CDLs given out from sanctuary states lack basic information, and Governor Stitt revealed one in particular had written no name given, where the driver's name was supposed to be. Wow. You trying to tell me my family gets on the road for vacation and there's some Chinese dude there who's just been given a license? Wow. That's enough to make you hurt somebody. I mean, that really is. That's enough to make you go full on, like John Wick on somebody. Imagine somebody's family dies because you, based on a political ideology, want to give a driver's license to an illegal alien from China, and then you find out that the person who killed your family is not a citizen, and they have a driver's license that says no name given. Get the hell out of here. Wow. Next news story. I'll tell you the next story that I think is very important for us as Christians to keep an eye on is the ADL coming out and identifying Christian identity as terrorism. It's amazing that the ADL has decided that if you identify as a Christian, the Christian identity is terroristic to Jewish people. I said this in last night's video, which I don't know if it got a lot of views. I said, when you saw Netanyahu up there with Donald Trump, that there was going to have to be a change between the relationship with between America and Israel. Because you see, the Christian ethos is rising in this nation. And as long as that ethos is rising, then unfortunately, there's going to be pushback against Israel. Really, it's not even pushback against Israel. It's going to be pushback against Netanyahu, because I don't think the average person in America has any pushback against the people of Israel. The people in America got a problem with the leader of Israel, Netanyahu. And I think the two need to be separated, distinctly separated. People cannot like your leader and then still have an appreciation for you. Your leader is a representation of the people. So the feeling that people have about you as a nation is a reflection of how people feel about your leader. And so when the ADL comes out and says that Christian identity is terrorism, oh, we got a big problem on our hands. We got a huge problem on our hands. And Elon Musk comes out and Elon says, hey, the ADL is a hate group because they say that Christian identity is terrorism. And of course, Chris Cuomo loses his mind. And it just goes to show you how much control these groups have and influence they have in our politics. Then here comes Chris Cuomo and he goes on the attack against Elon Musk. And we're gonna dig deeper into this because Alex talked about this yesterday. I didn't even know all this stuff was transpiring. It was just in my spirit that, bro, this is going to be a problem for us. And it's turning into be a more and more of a problem.
Musk sent this after the shooting with a screenshot from the Jewish group labeling Christian identity as extremist. Musk wrote, the ADL hates Christians, therefore it is a hate group. Everything about this is wrong. And to be honest, I first went to Elon and wanted him to explain this to me about, because, the guy's a genius, and he told me to piss off, and then it said I can't send him messages anymore. And I find that regrettable. I was talking to him about maybe doing something on Twitter not too long ago, talk to his people. I don't believe in just, trashing platforms. I think that we all have to be involved in how to get him to a better place. But, he makes whatever choice he makes. I don't hold it against him personally, but I do hold how he runs his business and how he handles himself. I do take that personally. How could he think that the attack on the Mormon church in Michigan was inspired by the ADL? So I guess he does see some limits on free speech because he doesn't let me have my messages with him. I just wish he would limit his own speech. He must know that report can't reasonably have anything to do with what just happened.
That's not what he was even talking about. He was talking about the ADL coming out and then identifying Christian identity as terrorism. And so here's Chris Cuomo coming out and trying to twist what he said. What is Christian identity? Oh, better yet, let's just say this. Let's make it easy for everybody. Define what transgender identity is. That's somebody who identifies as a transgender, right? Let's define what LGBT identity is. Somebody who identifies as LGBT. So what the hell is Christian identity? I identify as a Christian. But no. Hold on. Let me go ahead and let me allow you to hear the rest of this. And I'll be clear with you. Every time I do a video and I broach this subject, it gets the minimum amount of views you could ever get. Every time. Because this is the new censorship thing. You can't say anything bad about Netanyahu. About him. Not his nation, about him. Even though it's obvious that there's something going on here. But, don't say nothing bad about Netanyahu on YouTube because now you're getting censored. And he talks about it. And so, you know what? Sometimes it's better let the video speak for itself.
Said Christian influencers. Okay. You said we talked about the woke right, and you said I call it the woke Reich. That's a brilliant observation. The woke Reich, because these people, they're not any different from the woke left. I mean, they're insane. They're loonies. But they're actually meeting on some of the things. And what we have to do is we have to secure that part of the base of our support in the United States. That is being challenged systematically. A lot of this is done with money. Money of NGOs, vast. Money of governments, vaster. Okay? We have to fight back. How do we fight back? Our influencers. I think you should also talk to them if you have a chance. To that community, they're very important. And secondly, we're going to have to use the tools of battle. The weapons change over time. You can't fight today with swords. That doesn't work very well. Okay, and you can't fight with cavalry. That doesn't work very well. And you have these new things, like drones, things like that. I won't get into that. But we have to fight with the weapons that apply to the battlefields in which we're engaged. And the most important ones are the social media.
Remember, now I want to be clear with you. There is no world leader that should be talking about fighting the American people so openly. Just, oh, yeah, we have to fight them on social media. Now, everybody else is going to say he's talking about shooting and killing and stabbing. I don't get that from that. I'm sorry, I just don't get it. But I understand the backdrop and the murder of Charlie Kirk, and then all the evidence that led to what Netanyahu himself has ordered to do. I can understand the backdrop where people will spaz out. I can understand it. But what I don't like is when he said, and everybody's missing this point, the very beginning, he says, they called him the woke right. I called him a woke right. I believe that was a conversation he was having with Donald Trump. That sounds like something that Donald would say. And see, I don't have the rest of that clip, but I think the preference was that, I mean, the context was that he was having a conversation with Donald, and then he was telling people what he said with Donald. And I want to say this to Donald Trump and to the Trump administration. The greatest mistake that you will make, and it truly is the greatest mistake that you will make, is if you decide to isolate yourself from your most active voices. And you're like, oh, they're the woke right. And the reason why they're considered the woke right is because they didn't agree with Donald on Epstein. This is where this July, the strange June and July came in that we went through when it was the Epstein file debacle. And when you really think about it from a higher level, someone was behind the whole Epstein operation. And it's been said that Epstein was an agent. Are you getting what I'm saying? And so if he was an agent for a foreign intelligence agency and his whole job was to compromise everybody, and then on the tail end of him compromising everybody, confusion is sown into the whole nation to try to divide the MAGA movement with his name, based on his work. And that confusion is sparked up and amplified across social media at every opportunity. It's been burnt out now. Nobody cares about it. It lasted June, July, August. We're in September going in October. So you got 90 days out of the psychological operation that was Jeffrey Epstein. But all of a sudden, on the tail end of this whole thing, it's now there's a woke right. And that woke right needs to be censored. And then Netanyahu comes out and says, yeah, basically, we're going to censor the woke right through NGOs, through governments. Nah, Donald, I got a problem with that shit. I got a problem with that. If that man sat there and had that conversation with Donald Trump, we got us a problem. If what I sense is the reality of it, because you don't come out and talk that confidently publicly unless you said this stuff behind closed doors. And see, what I don't like about it is this, because most people don't understand snakes. Even him saying what he said is snaky because it snakes Donald and stabs him in the back. If me and the president had this conversation, and if the president is a conservative and he felt like there's a woke right, why would I go out publicly and say there's a woke right and throw that back on him? You're dealing with a snake, dog. You're dealing with a snake. Yeah, you're dealing with a snake. And I don't mean this from a perspective of all people like, oh, you're being anti-Semitic. No, I'm talking about the person. The man is a snake. But all of a sudden, you can't say that. Oh, you can't say nothing about Netanyahu being his personality. No, that's a serpent. Slithering in, slithering out. Just 2 days ago, it comes out in the news. Netanyahu gives long-range Patriot missiles to the Ukrainian army. Just slithering in here, slithering out of there, slithering over there, slithering this way, slithering that way. That's a snake. And see, the problem is if we can't call a snake what it is without it being anti-Semitic or without it being crazy or you being censored, then, bro, we done. We cooked. The left called Donald Trump everything there is. Nobody censored them. Y'all bet not damn censor us for talking about the leader of any nation. It ain't got to be him. We should be able to say what we want to say about Putin. We should be able to say what we want to say about Macron and his man wife. You better not censor the American people over a foreign leader. I mean, there's no basis for it. There's no sense in it. Other than your ass is under control. And so when it comes to this issue, I got some problem, man. I got some problem. Because there's something snaky going on now. And this just confirms there's something snaky going on because he did this before, the day before he went to go talk to Donald Trump and get this 20-point peace plan. There's something snaky going on out here in these streets, ladies and gentlemen. And that ain't conspiratorial. That's just obvious. It's laid out obvious in front of you. Now I'm going to switch subjects because that pisses me off because I don't like being under the thumb of any man via the thumb of another man. You understand what I'm saying? I don't like being under Netanyahu's thumb because I'm under Donald's thumb. But Donald's under Netanyahu's thumb in any way, shape, or form. And I'm not saying that's something that happens all day long, every day, but any leverage that you have on the president of the United States is leverage on the American people. Any form of leverage. And it should be removed by any means necessary. That leverage should be removed. I'm sorry. We can't be playing these kind of games because this is how you go 10 steps forwards and 13 steps backwards. So America's doing good. We're prospering. We're doing this. Donald Trump gets out of office. Good. Okay. JD Vance gets in office. Boom. Everything goes back. No. This is how you go back in the darkness. No. Then when you head on over to New York City, New York is getting ready to become a hellhole. And people are going to flee New York and they're going to come to the South and they should be taxed out of the wazoo. I'm sorry. If you leave in New York and you come into Louisiana or you come into Texas, there should be an entry tax that you pay. Because you criminally insane people allowed this to happen in your own city of New York. You shouldn't just get to fly down here with your money and buy up all the houses and be like, oh, New York sucks right now and I'm going to Texas or I'm going to Louisiana. The housing prices are so great. And then bring your liberal stupidity here. You shouldn't be allowed to do it. You should pay a retardium tax. Yeah. There should be a tax called retardium tax that you pay for the retarded decisions you made there that allowed it to get to where it gets to now. Now, here's Mamdani saying that, hey, he will decriminalize prostitution. Wait, early in the late night video tonight, you'll understand that. Watch the late night video tonight. I'm not going to go there in the daytime. But no, we going there. Let's go there. You need to understand that there are spiritual environments that are primed for wickedness. And does it make sense to you that Mamdani, who's a Muslim, would want to decriminalize prostitution? Does it make any sense to you? No, it don't make any sense to you. But you want to know why it doesn't make any sense to you? Well, DW, he's a socialist. No, he's a socialist. But Muslims tend to have they put their faith above everything else. But he's a jihadist. He just don't have an AK-47. He just don't have the robe and the turban on. He's a jihadist. He's a political jihadist. So his job is to go into New York and blow it up. Boom. Politically. The fact of the matter is that everybody that's fleeing New York is doing what he anticipated and wanted them to do. But it's their ignorance, their sheer ignorance that led them there. And what's going to happen is New York whole personality is going to change. It's going to become an altar to a whole nother god. It's going to be a whole nother god. Even the old gods in New York are being ran out right now. for the satanic woke God that's coming in. That nigga said yes. Yes. And I'm going to tell you something. To you liberal, rich New York white folks. Boy, you get what you deserve. Yeah. Y'all was all down with the illegals coming into your cities. We're going to house the illegals under Eric Adams. And Eric Adams dropped out of the race, but Eric Adams ain't innocent. Eric Adams' ass should be arrested. Honestly. Like, he should be arrested. I don't think Eric Adams should get an ambassador job for dropping out. Eric Adams should be put in damn Gitmo. With the rest of all these mayors, they should be put in Gitmo for selling out America. That's just me keeping it real with you. I never liked the fact that Eric Adams went through his quick transition from being a leftist to a moderate, close to a conservative. I called it out while he was doing it, during the election. He was moving from one position to the next. And he ended up making a transition on Fox News with Tom Homan on air on the 5 with him. And he made his full transition. It wasn't the 5, it was Fox Morning News. He made the full transition from a liberal to a pretty much a moderate conservative mayor in about 90 days. I didn't think he could pull it off. He did it in 90 days. It may have been 83 days. I was counting the days that it took him to do this, and I was absolutely amazed because it let me know and understand the ridiculousness of the American citizen's psyche. It means that if I consistently tell you for 90 days that I'm something different than what I am, and I lie to you for 90 days, it takes 90 days for you to believe that lie. And for it to set in. I just have to have enough discipline to keep lying to you for 90 days. Really, it should be 21 days, but 90 days for it to hold fast. 90 days. Just keep telling the same lie over and over and over and over. It was disappointing. It was disgusting. I'm getting sidetracked. The point I'm making to you is this. New York City. The people of New York, you're going to get what the hell you deserve for being damn stupid. And it's a shame. But guess what? You're going to have child prostitution on the streets in New York. Because they're illegal aliens. Children. So if prostitution is legalized and they got illegal alien kids, you're going to have child prostitution on the streets of New York. Remember the movie Escape New York? Was it Escape New York or Escape Los Angeles? It's going to be Escape New York is what it's going to be. So this dude just said that to make women safe, you decriminalize prostitution. Bro, what? We're in bizarro world. And he's like bizarro Superman. You know what I'm saying? Of politics. The crap that he says makes no sense. It's witchcraft, man. And then it gets worse. It gets worse because now you have Muslims coming online, crying and whining in America. Bruh, you can't make this stuff up. You can't make it up, man. You cannot make this up. I need a break. I need a break. Lord, I need to take a break from doing this because I'm not going to be able to do it. We did the earlier video, an hour-long video, where we went hardcore with spiritual warfare. I can't do anymore. It's crazy. Guys, it's insane. Imagine you and I going to Germany. No. We need to go to a Muslim nation. Imagine you and I going to, give me a good Muslim nation that everybody want to go to. Imagine you and I going to Qatar, illegally migrating to Qatar as Christians, coming into Qatar, buying up every one of their mosques, building out our own little area inside of their Muslim nation. And now there's a city in Qatar that's an all Christian city inside of Qatar, which is a Muslim nation. And we're marching down the streets with our Christian flags and saying, we're going to take over Qatar. We're going to take over their government and we're going to rule and reign and we're going to bring them to a submission and we're going to take over. And then our women have the pure, unmitigated gall, the nerve to get online and say that someone is threatening them because of their speech. You can't make this up. You cannot make this up. This is some kind of cosmic script. We've flipped the page on some kind of cosmic retard timeline that I'm just not comprehending. My brain is not comprehending this cosmic retardation that I'm seeing right here. I can't comprehend this. It's crazy. Legalized prostitution. The lady said, hey, there's little girls, underage prostitutes on the streets in Queens. Just going back to what she said. And you know the thing that got me about it? She was afraid to say, hey, asshole. Do you realize there are little girls in Queens on the streets being prostituted right now? And he goes into his word salad, the World Health Organization, the this. We don't have a survival instinct in America. Our media is sold out. So nobody says, hey, jackass, listen to me. Listen to me. You're saying that you're going to legalize prostitution when she is saying there are little girls being prostituted on the streets. So are you saying right now that you're fine with underage children being prostituted on the streets and making that legal? Are you a pedophile, Zoro Mandami? But no, we can't get anybody to do that. Nope, nobody will do it. Why? Because we're cowards.
I don't even want to go to work today. They're trying to paint Dearborn. Elon Musk, he tweeted out or shared out this post trying to act like Muslims in Dearborn are like trying to take over the world or something. Like they're really trying to push out this message. And I know that somebody is going to get out there. They're going to do something to people in Dearborn. And y'all are just trying to, like, this hate. It just makes me not even want to wear my hijab. And my son is in Dearborn right now. And I'm scared because why are y'all doing this? This is not... I'm trying to tell you guys, they're trying to get us attacked. They're trying to hurt us. They're trying to hurt people in Dearborn.
If you see any more of these videos with these fake ass tears, that ain't no real. You ain't afraid of a damn thing. I need to take a break, y'all, because Crazy James is coming out. Y'all ain't never really met Crazy James. Y'all met Dog Waters. Y'all met Liberal James. You ain't never met Crazy James. Crazy James is knocking on the front door and he's wiggling the handle. And he's like, let me out, let me out, let me out, let me out. Because if you see any more videos of people with hijabs running around crying and whining like somebody's going to hurt them, then all it tells you is there's about to be a false flag in Dearborn. But Dearborn has got to be a flashing point anyway. It's going to be a flashing point. Period. So it's either going to be there's a false flag where people kill a bunch of Muslims, and then they come back and be like jihad has started, Ali Akbar, or they gonna blow up some people. Ain't about to be no peace. That's what people don't seem to understand. It's called the battle of altars. There will be no peace because these are altars battling. Remember in the Bible, bring it to a Bible story. They carrying the Ark of the Covenant. They're walking. Boom, 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 boom. The Ark starts to fall. Homeboy, Uzzah, reaches out to grab the Ark, and God smites him. Now, I don't know what happened to Uzzah. I suspect that Uzzah blew up until it turned into a bloody mess. Can't tell you how he died. They don't explain how he died. But then they're like, wait, hold on, wait a minute. We not carrying this thing nowhere else. And so they take it and they put it in this dude's house. I'm trying to remember the dude's name. But anyway, they put it in the dude's house, and the Ark of the Covenant is there next to the idol of Dagon. And so they put them both in the same room. They come back the next day, and Dagon's statue is knocked down and the head is knocked off, right? They put Dagon back together, close it, come back again next day, head is broken, arms is broken, or hands is broken. When you have two altars in the same territory, they go to war. What do you mean, James? What do you mean two altars? You cannot have Christianity and you cannot have Islam in the same territory. No, it's going to go to war. It's the same thing you see happening all over Africa. Nigeria, they're running through murdering 800,000 million gazillion Christians. It's the battle of altars. So this concept and idea of, somebody's going to hurt us. She know, they know, you don't know. They know about battles of altars. We don't know. So you're like, oh, it's terrorism. I'm going to go even further. I'm going to go deeper. You ready for me to go deeper? You do realize that even with Netanyahu, it's a battle of altars. Because people are like, well, DW, well, they serve the same God we do. I said the other day, the Jewish community is not a monolith. I don't know who many of those people serve. I know biblically they worship Baal, they worship Moloch. Do you know? Are you sure? Have you sat down and said, hey, let's talk about your faith? This is just all altars battling all over the place. I'm done. I'm taking a break. It's 11:30. I need to do my prayers at 12. I'm done. I don't care what time the videos come out. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Hit the like button.